Hello friends, and welcome to My Left Ear. I'm Carrie Freeman with my co-host Petey Freeman, who's was acting a little pornographic there, but he might do it again. Anyway, this is a liberal YouTube channel, and between now and November we're devoted here to getting Kamala Harris and her VP elected, whoever that VP may be, and we're going to talk about that today. We want democracy to win, and it will. It is Wednesday, July 31st. This is video 213. Continue, for those of you who have been watching, continue holding that joyful feeling that is now all around of Harris and her VP winning. Just hold on to it, enjoy it. And she is exhibiting so much, well, joy is a good word, joy and hope and good vibes that you can just draw off of her. And I'm just trying to get my camera a little bit better. Sorry about that. We always want to get Petey in here. So a few things. The Democratic National Convention is August 19th to September 22nd in my hometown, Chicago. And then just a little personal note, I got a lot of compliments from when I did my last video and I was wearing yellow. And what I really loved about it is that yellow was my mother's favorite color. She was famous for it to the point where her nickname was Buttercup. And so when I got all these compliments, I felt that my mother was coming through and saying, hello, you're wearing my color. We always joked about getting her a little Mercedes with the license plate Buttercup. We didn't get around to it, but hi, Buttercup. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for all the compliments and support. You have no idea how much is appreciated. I got a doozy of a nasty, I mean nasty, message last week, and that person I think has exited stage right. All right, swing states. I just feel like I need to say this because I'm all about making sure people understand, and I understand because I am not the end-all be-all on political information. I do a lot of studying. The swing states are considered to play a key role in the outcome of presidential elections. It's where candidates of both the Democratic and Republican parties have similar levels of support. Now, there's something that I picked up on Twitter about fundraising that gave an inkling, okay, because I'm going to talk about governors, gave an inkling that Kamala Harris and her team are looking at governors more than senators, etc., etc. And here it is in a nutshell. I'm just going to read verbatim. The Harris campaign is pressing Wall Street donors to cut their checks as soon as possible, citing a financial rule that bars contributions to tickets featuring a sitting governor. So there's a kind of a strong indication that she's thinking of one of these governors. Indication, okay? I have a lot of runes that I pulled. It took me a long time today. This was a long time. And then I got phone calls. I had a crazy thing happen, but I'll share that later that had me on the phone. All right, so the first rune, I thought, well, let's just ask, will a governor become VP? And I got breakthrough. So breakthrough signals a major shift or breakthrough in the process of change. It's a complete transformation. And for some, the transition is so radical that they no longer are able to live the ordinary way, meaning they give up being a governor and they move to Washington, D.C. And because the timing is right, the outcome is assured, but still may surprise. So I'm going to talk about some governors here, but maybe it won't be one of these governors, you know, may surprise. And it says radical trust is called for Breakthrough is akin to the sun as it breaks through the final barriers, illuminating all. And breakthrough speaks of prosperity. Then we move on. Defense was the next rune. Defense speaks of preparation for the future, preparing the soil to receive the fertile seed of the future. Like, you know how Kamala says, we're not going back. We're not going back. And I say, this is going in one direction. That's a line I use a lot. This is going in one direction. So preparing the soil to receive the fertile seed of the future speaks of being able to capitalize on what you've developed so far. These would be what the governors have developed so far, but without immediate payment, which means without the win yet. I mean, nobody knows. Through discomfort, growth is promoted, meaning this is not easy. This whole thing is not easy. But we fund the power to avert blockage and defeat. Patience is ultimate here. And the rune of defense speaks to the difficulties that can arise at the beginning of new life. So this is a huge adjustment. If it's a governor or a senator, but we're talking about governors right now, governor moving from their comfy state into DC, into this position, is challenging. It's the difficulties that can arise at the beginning of new life. So it just suggests avert these difficulties through right action. And then the last rune I got for will a governor be chosen to be VP is the blank rune. And it says blank is the end and blank is the beginning. So it's the end of being a governor. It's the beginning of, we've gotten this rune many times. This is a rune of trust, should be taken as exciting evidence of a true destiny, which rises like the phoenix from the ashes of what is called fate. It often portends a symbolic death, the blank rune. And I wrote Trump, the symbolic death of Trump. Maybe it's literal, I don't know. It may relate to some part of life that is no longer applicable, and Donald Trump is no longer applicable, as well as JD fans. So the feeling I got, and I'm getting, is that the VP will probably be a governor, all right? So our candidates here. Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona. Now he's fully vetted, which is great. You know, he was an astronaut, so he's been fully vetted. They may go through it again, but listen, it's really important that he holds his seat in the Senate. And Kamala Harris, being a part of the Senate, what do they call her position where she breaks tie votes and stuff? You guys are going to know, and you're going to send me that answer. There's a name. Is she president of the Senate? I don't know, and I apologize. The great thing about Mark Kelly is he would be such a great advocate for gun control, gun reform, due to his wife Gabby's near assassination and long recovery. All of these people that are being considered, by the way, are really great, okay? And that's why nobody knows and everybody's guessing. I mean, if you went on Twitter, people are just guessing, and people are saying who their favorites are. And a lot of people really like Mark Kelly. I like Mark Kelly, but I have this feeling he needs to hold on to this Senate seat. All right. Now we have Governor Josh Shapiro. He's popular, he's an excellent communicator, and we must win Pennsylvania. By the way, I had written down, I don't have time for this video today, but Pennsylvania has 19 electoral voters. 19, that's a lot. So to be taken very seriously, we must win Pennsylvania. He is pro-Israel, not necessarily pro-Netanyahu, but I don't know for sure. Some people think that may be, I don't know, not a good thing, but you know, Kamala Harris is for Israel. So I'm just mentioning this. If Josh Shapiro becomes the VP candidate, he would be replaced by the lieutenant governor, a Democrat named Austin Davis. Then there's the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. And I think, this is another thing, I was so busy that I can't even tell you. I was on the phone with my lawyer and doctors and all kinds of stuff. But I think Tim Walz coined weird. I think he's the person who first said, they're weird. He's very humorous, warm, he's likable. I have heard from others that he's very approachable. I'll just tell you, before running for Congress in 2006, he served for 24 years in the Army National Guard, and he was a social studies teacher. And then during his time in Congress, from 2007 to 2019, he cut a low profile on divisive national issues and mostly kept it local, but it helped him keep his seat in Democratic hands through the red waves of 2010 and 2014. Everybody likes him. Everybody likes him. So I'm going to read some runes here in a few minutes after this governor's thing and my comments about Kelly and Shapiro and Tim Walz, because there are more people. So I want you to know that tomorrow I'm going to talk about and do runes on Pete Buttigieg, U.S. Secretary of Transportation, former naval officer, gotta slow down, was mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Harvard grad, where he majored in history and literature, and he became president of the Student Advisory Committee of the Harvard Institute of Politics, and he worked on the Institute's annual study of youth attitudes on politics. Now, I love this guy. I haven't met anybody who doesn't love him, and on Twitter, his name comes up all the time. People really want him to be the VP candidate. I will talk about that in a few minutes. Then we've got the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. What a great guy. He's been there since 2019. He won, the governor won bipartisan passage for Rebuild Illinois, the largest investment in state history to upgrade roads, bridges, rail, broadband, and schools. Doesn't it sound like Biden? He overcame years of fiscal mismanagement in Illinois by proposing and passing a balanced budget every year. He raised minimum wage. And what I just found out was that J.B. Pritzker's mother was a huge, lifelong advocate for women's rights and choice. And she took J.B. everywhere. So he has been on this political path since he's a kid. And he has been very, very active for pro-choice. Even kind of before Kamala started taking that banner and running with it. Powerful pro-choice governor. Governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear. Kentucky is not a battleground state, but his absence could be replaced by a Republican governor. He's been awfully good for Kentucky. So we'll see. Now, I'm going to cover runes for these people tomorrow. Walz. I don't think it's going to be Walz, although I like him also. There isn't anybody that I don't like. But I say unlikely because he got the rune of flow in the reversed position. He got warrior upright, but right after that, he got warrior reversed. It's kind of all I need. I don't think it's going to be Governor Walz. So more runes to come. I want to mention good evidence. I skipped over some stuff here. I made a mistake. I might have to come back. What did I do? What did I do? Oh my goodness. Well, let's see if I can cut and paste. If I can't, then I'm really a mess. Okay, we're good. We're good. I had done some runes that I did cut and paste, and then I forgot to paste them, and I just panicked. Just this minute, I just panicked. Now I'm gonna make it readable. Come on, come on. Okay. All right. So here's a rune. Will Josh Shapiro be VP choice? Now here's when I'm going to open this envelope, which was July 22nd. It's sealed. It hasn't been unsealed. So now I'm going to share it with you. It's relevant. So I did runes. I asked about Mark Kelly and Josh Shapiro, just those two. And you know, this was like the 22nd of July. So I will tell you that back then, Mark Kelly got more favorable runes than Josh Shapiro. All right? But it's changed because I did them again this morning. So we know about timing, and that rune throw, you know, probably about timing. So now I'm going to ask the direct question. Will Josh Shapiro be VP choice? He got very good runes today. Very, very good runes. They all got some good runes for the most part. So he got the rune of movement. Movement and progress. It's connected with the horse. So movement is the message here. It's pretty literal movement. It's the rune of transit, transition, physical shifts, maybe moving to DC, new dwelling places, new attitudes, or new life. And it says, accept the path even if the stairs seem steep. Because I think it's probably pretty daunting becoming a vice presidential candidate for anybody. Accept the path even if the stairs seem steep, and it says you will accomplish them. There's a gradual development about this rune, steady progress with numerous shifts. And it says to Josh, face the future and be prepared to share good fortune. All right, then I got the rune of separation. And it may sound like, oh, negative and bad, but it's not. Now is the time of separating old paths, Mr. Shapiro, Governor Shapiro. Old skins must be shed, outmoded relationships discarded. So this is a rune of radical severance, because when he steps down, if he steps down. Where a peeling away is called for. It can bring a bounty to the individual, but asks that they take appropriate action. And it also advises Mr. Shapiro, Governor Shapiro, I keep saying Mr., but Governor Shapiro, be willing to give up some aspect of your behavior. So, you know, maybe he might have to modify a little bit after meeting with Kamala if she chooses him. Work with this powerful energy. Separation speaks of new experiences coming to you, and it is a rune of acquisition. And finally, the third rune for Josh Shapiro is growth. See, there were no negatives, there were no reverses here. This fosters growth, both symbolically and actually. It may occur in affairs of the world. It leads to blossoming and ripening. And it does caution, consider the issues with care and awareness. Dispense resistance, cleanse dark corners, and then move to the accomplishment. It is also about funding will through action. So this is very practical. It embodies the energy of discrimination, cutting through. I want to say cutting through the BS. It has a sword-like quality that enables you to cut away the old, the dead, the extraneous. That feels good to me. All right, now we go on to Mark Kelly, who's very popular. And I asked the same question, will Mark Kelly be the VP? And I got warrior. This is also about funding a will through action, unattached to the outcome. It recommends to let the will of heaven flow through you. Again, it's the energy of discrimination. It's a sword-like quality that enables you to cut away the old. And if this rune comes up in a relationship question or issue, it indicates that that relationship is timely. And then the next one, gateway reversed, okay? And it says, this is from Mark Kelly, even in times of accelerated growth, you will have reason to halt and reconsider the old. And like I said earlier, he's got to decide about how important the Senate is to him and to the Senate. It's a big deal. So it says, if you're undergoing difficulties, the nature of the passage depends on the quality of your attitude, your clarity, and your intention. Where he's an exceptional person, Mark Kelly, okay? Make sure that you are not suffering over your suffering. I don't know what that suffering would be. It just basically says, be still, collect yourself, and wait on the will of heaven. And then the last one for Kelly, Mark Kelly, for VP, is initiation. This is mysterious. Something is hidden, something is a secret. There's something we don't know. It comes with a strong message. It's not gentle or passive. It clears a path for change. And it says, sometimes the best action is no action. I'm interjecting here. It may be better for him to run for the Senate and stay there, re-election in the Senate, all right? Because it says there may be things going on outside of his range of knowing. Mysterious. And then it says, best to set things aside for now. Let life take its course. And that feels a little passive. But this rune, initiation, is about surprises, gains, or unexpected rewards. So we wait. There are opportunities involved here for Senator Kelly. So I had to go backwards, so I already talked about that. I talked about the VB candidates. And I'm going to do more tomorrow. I'm going to do Pete Buttigieg and the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. No, this is something new. This is something new I want to share that's really, really good. The mayor of South Bend, Indiana. Oh no, that's Pete. I'm sorry, I messed myself up, and please forgive me. I worked all morning and I kept getting these phone calls, so I've got things a little out of order, and I do apologize. Oh my God, I'm gonna cover Pete Buttigieg tomorrow with the runes. I told you about J.B. Pritzker. I really like, personally, J.B. Pritzker. I mean, he just speaks so well. He has the best energy. He's not afraid. And he's accomplished great things in Illinois, and he's pro-choice, and he grew up as an advocate with his mom. Love that. I talked for a second about Governor Andy Beshear. I know people have mentioned him, and he's very popular, and he is good. That my left ear part of me doesn't think he's in the running. Could be wrong. Right, so more to come. I had written out, but I think I'm not going to do it because this is also running long, and then it's harder to upload the more time I take. But here's some good evidence. Mayor John Giles is the mayor of Mesa, Arizona. He's a Republican who came out in the last 48 hours to support Kamala Harris, to support Vice President Kamala Harris, and he made an eloquent speech And he did it, and it was so, where we don't see people standing up, where we don't see people doing the correct thing, this guy really is doing the greatest thing. And maybe he sets the tone for other people to come forward. So you might want to look him up and hear what he said. He was very eloquent. He was brilliant. And then in terms of J.D. Vance and the backlash he's getting from his cat ladies thing that he's sticking to, oh my God, he's sticking to it because we don't understand what he was talking about. But Taylor Swift on TikTok, she posted this one thing which says everything, and all her followers are going to see it. This is what she wrote. This is a cat post now. That's all she wrote. This is a cat post now. Everybody will get it. Everybody will get it. And she's going to come out more and more. Thank you for your patience. I screwed up. I can't tell you. I worked so hard on these outlines, and then I screwed this up. So, but we found it. We pasted it in. I'll tell you who keeps coming up for me over and over, and it is Josh Shapiro. That's all I can tell you. Josh Shapiro is coming up for me over and over. There's something about the rapport he has with Kamala Harris. I do think they are friends. And he represents Pennsylvania, which is great. We need Pennsylvania. There's 19 electorates. But we'll see. You know, as I go through Twitter, I have to tell you something. Nobody knows. And nothing's been leaked, which I think is a phenomenal thing to pull off in this day and age. So right now, nobody knows. They're guessing, and people are saying, this is my favorite, this is my favorite. I want to go back and say, even though Josh Shapiro keeps coming up for me, and he's been resonating for me for a while. This isn't brand new. They're all really good. All these candidates are really good candidates. And Kamala's going to choose who she can work with beautifully, just like she worked with Joe Biden and works with Joe Biden. Oh, Petey's making a move. Wait, Petey, you want to just turn around and say hi to people so they can see you a little bit? Here you go. I just had to do that. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. Thank you for your patience. And I hope I have my stuff together better tomorrow, but I had missed you guys for a few days. And stuff happens in the course of 24 hours, does it not? By the way, did anybody see the reception in Georgia for Kamala Harris? It was amazing. This place, it was 10,000, and it was like filled to the rafters. And poor, miserable, horrible Donald Trump put out this all caps message from his media thing, whatever it was called, Truth Social. Like, there's nothing true about his life or anything he says, but it's called Truth Social. And it was all caps, and it was about people started to leave right away. I gotta tell you something. The place was jammed. Nobody left. I don't think anybody left. But he's going nuts now. And he's got to try to defend not debating her. And in the meantime, I don't know if you heard this. This is not written down, but it just came to me. It's so great. She's going to show up for the debate. She's going to show up for the debate. And I'll tell you who else did that at the last election was Senator John Ossoff from Georgia. He had an opponent that was like kind of crooked. There were two of these people from Georgia that were so shady that he showed up and he did the debate without his opponent. Well, that's what she's doing. Unless Trump changes his mind, nothing can stop her from doing it. Trump cannot stop her. Either he shows up or he doesn't show up. And it's pretty damn fun. He's scared to death of her. So we'll see. I'd love her to just do the debate by herself, because then that's just another platform where she gets to talk about her intentions, correct? Okay, my friends, was talking really fast today, wasn't I? I had an extra cup of coffee. So on behalf of Petey Freeman, who's, you know, just taking it easy today, and myself, I say, make peace, make good memories, and we're gonna win. Feel it, celebrate it, it's gonna happen. Okay, bye-bye.